EcomPro.Shuayb, your one-stop shop to all your digital business needs. Stop thinking and join now.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Abu Aisha Shuayb. All praise be to Allah. Alright guys, this is going to be a 7-minute video approximately, so buckle up. So that's my name, my full name on LinkedIn. You can find my profile, alright, and this is how my profile looks on Facebook. So basically I'm gonna tell you a bit about myself, alright. So fundamentally I'm a slave of Allah. You know, videography is not allowed in Islam, so that's why I'm not showing my face even though I'm a male. You know, I believe, and that is the fact, Islam does not permit whether a man or a woman to use camera. It is prohibited, whether taking pictures or taking videos without any reason. Alright, now there are some exceptions to the rules which ulama say, like for security purpose, for medical purpose, where there is a matter of life and death, it's zarura, you know. So that's a different thing. But just for fun, just for the sake of it, when you can use your voice, when you can use other means, when it can be avoided. So, you know, anyhow, so basically one thing unique about me is that once you get in touch with me, once you get to know me, I'm very social. No matter what happens, if you get in touch with me, I will always be there for you. Alright? So, and I really mean this. Okay, by qualification, I'm a computer engineer. ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. From Malaysia. And just a side note, I request you all to say Barakallahu Feek. Say Barakallah, meaning may Allah bless you. Whenever you see something good in a person, don't say MashaAllah, say Barakallah. That is the Sunnah. I have verified it, I've checked it, and you can check in the books of Ahadith too. Alright? Or if you ask me, I will send you the Hadith, I'll send you the whole reference. Anyhow, coming back, so I worked as an IT engineer in KSA in one of the largest telcos, STC, for 7 years. Alright, mainly in Riyadh and Jeddah. This was my first company, and I was so blessed. I can't tell you. Alhamdulillah, I'm born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and before I used to think Saudi Arabia is just Makkah and Medina, and it's just a land of desert, you know. Although Riyadh is really modern, ultra modern, urban, but when due to my job I traveled all around Saudi Arabia, all the major cities, to the small towns, to the villages, the hills, and every place, and I've seen rain, I've seen greenery. I just haven't seen ice, even though they say it snows in Tabuk, but other than that, I've pretty much seen. I've seen oceans. I've seen the Red Sea, the beautiful seasides, the Cornishes, you name it. Like Saudi Arabia is hands down the most beautiful country in the world. You know, it tops my list, and then second is obviously Pakistan, and third is Malaysia. I happened to live 3 years in Malaysia as a student, and it was the 3 most beautiful years of my year, life-changing, life-transforming years. All right, you can actually find my detailed intro on my YouTube channel, but here I'm just gonna go really fast. I'm not gonna go into details. All right, so I'm going to describe what NMCT is, but in the end, so let me just finish up with the introduction quickly. So basically, right now I'm in Dubai. I'm speaking from Dubai right now. Last 5 years I've really challenged myself, like in entrepreneurship, in doing roles which an engineer would normally not do. The reason being because I had already seen the peak of my life. I had earned good, and I understood how business works, having worked 7 years in a big company. Now I wanted to understand how startups work, how small companies work, how entrepreneurship, financial management, and supply chain, how all these things. Digital marketing I was always attracted to web design, digital marketing, AI. I was very interested in all these things, and so I wanted to learn all this, and I kept learning for the last 15 years. So in terms, last 5 years I worked in various companies in education sector as a head of IT in one of the oldest companies in Lahore, oldest universities, college in Lahore. And then I worked in the health and fitness domain, in content creation, in edutech, robotics, various kind of stuff, career development. Something unique I did, I actually went all around Lahore and Islamabad and networked with all the schools and their principals, and I asked them some deep questions which they were not able to answer, like why is your curriculum this way, and don't you think it's outdated, and why it's all theory, and why there's not enough of practical stuff in your institutes, in your schools. I was doing it for kids, for future generation of Pakistan, for kids. I was really concerned about the education of kids, both in my family as well as the future of Pakistan, the youth in general. So I did this, going school to school, institute to institute, and I was just disappointed. From the government schools to the private, I went to everyone. And I'm talking about going to the best schools. Anyhow, in terms of talents and achievements, I've won uh, arts competitions, and I've won a humor writing competition in Malaysia. This is notable. I actually won an iPod Touch. It's an amazing story. Perhaps some other day I will mention to you. And Alhamdulillah. Moreover, I successfully trained several professionals and CEOs in regaining their health with a 99% success rate, right? Um, Weight loss, depression, physical, mental, psychological, relationship problems, you name it. I've helped people in all these areas. By the special fadl of Allah, I have a specific process to do it. It's not the typical, it's not what you hear on YouTube and online. It's very different. It's applied science. Anyhow, that's like last 15 years. Last 2 years specifically, I worked with leading digital marketing software houses in Lahore, which were actually targeting the US market. And what else? I've worked in areas like organizational psychology, the hierarchy of the business, that is, and whether it should be flat or it should be, like the typical one, the business improvement, technical accountability, digital authenticity, and basically as a strategy consultant. All right, specialize in UX design research. I'm certified from Google, fundamentally certified in UX design. So UX design research, storytelling, and email marketing. I've actually done courses on this and studied deep, and I've also practically made designed websites, landing pages for my own personal brand that I developed, as well as for other companies. And alhamdulillah, I've been trying to voluntarily teach. There are actually people roaming around here, so I don't want to film them, so that's why I'm just you will see a lot of floor. Anyhow, so I've always been fond of learning new languages, mastering English and Arabic language, specifically Arabic language. I've been very attracted to it, since young age, and I've tried to master it in last 10 years, but I've just started. I've just begun actually. Adventure sports and traveling, just love adventure sports and traveling. I think my video is gonna go above 10 minutes now. Anyhow, I'm interested in learning, serving, and why I want to join LCT, you might be asking. Hisham server might be wondering. Well, I'm interested in learning, serving, and committed to improving communication skills of our youth, to form this collaborative ecosystem that he's talking about. I really know that is actually the missing puzzle piece in Pakistan, what I've felt, what I've observed in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And support overseas Pakistanis, those living within Pakistan, especially in Lahore, in Islamabad, and those living overseas, like here in Dubai. So I totally agree with the infotainment and significance of NMCT, which Hisham sir is stressing upon. Actually, that's what I've been doing. I started this EcomPro.Shuayb in 2012. It's not a company yet, it's not registered yet, but it's just voluntarily I started teaching the people around me in Pakistan the little bit of e-commerce and email marketing that I learned at that time, and especially Amazon, how Amazon works, right? I've been into Amazon and e-commerce pretty much in the last 5 years. That's been my focus, e-commerce and digital marketing, because that's where the money is, that's where the growth is, you know what I'm saying? So you have to work on emerging technologies and high ticket stuff, otherwise you're just wasting life, right? I like to be the best. My ambitions in life is I like to be the best UX design artist an organic lifestyle coach in the world. I'm saying like in the world, not just in Pakistan, all right? So it's a big dream. I want to educate, train, coach at least, uh, you know, 7 million people, if not 7 billion people. All the people. Obviously, I can't. I believe I cannot possibly train all 7 billion people. Neither I think all of them would require this training. I think, but yeah, I think a big proportion, especially in Pakistan, a good percentage, possibly 15 million youth of ours, 14 million youth would require this training. Most of them, even the teachers and the trainers and the parents, other than the youth. I want to network because I want to serve and grow together. You know what I'm saying? I want to master, the things, the fields which are not currently well known. Pakistan does not stand out in this. Previously, I struggled a lot with robotics education in Pakistan. People were not willing to pay, so I left robotics education. And then I shifted to the core problems of the people, which is the language. It's a global problem, it's everyone's problem. Like here in Dubai, for example, hundreds and thousands of Southeast Asians coming in and they don't know the Arabic language. So forget about that. The imams and the madaris tulab in Pakistan, they cannot speak in Arabic fluently. Can you imagine? That is the dilemma we have right now. That's the gap that I want to fill up, right? So language training is something really I'm passionate about since the beginning of time and focused on, right? But I want to use advanced technology, XR, and change the game. I want to do something new, something different. So, okay, now let's get to NMCT. So, I would say networking is like, you need as Hisham Server rightly said, your network is your net worth, right? So, meaning that how many people, the game has changed in this time of ours since 2000. Now, depending upon how many people follow you, how big is your email list, that is how successful your brand can be, right? Because it opens up opportunities of engagement with them and converting them, right? That's the whole game that you need to understand. So that's the power of networking, right? And you can also influence positively and create positive impact, right? Not create those silly TikTok videos, but do really something meaningful. Don't just run after money. I say become so great in your skill that the money runs after you, money follows you. And that leads me to M, which is mastery of skills, right? You have to master one skill. The problem is most of us think we have to master multiple skills before we become successful. Although generally it is true. Look, you can be a great Python coder, you can be a great Figma designer, okay? But if you can't sell yourself, right, so you will not become wealthy, let alone you will not become rich, let alone become wealthy. So you need more skills, you need multiple skills, essentially you need to be good at one skill. That can be coding, that can be designing, that can be writing, whatever you're passionate about. Please do something that you're passionate about, because authenticity prevails in digital marketing. And I'm going to talk more about this in my future videos, or let's say if Hisham sir will ask me to talk more about it, I'm going to talk more about it, all right? But for example, in LinkedIn alone, authenticity is the reason that my profile is for following is fast growing, So talking about mastery, you need one core skill which you are an expert at. You need digital marketing skill, because you need to learn how to market your skill, right? You alone can best decide and tell what is going to be your USB for the first skill, right? Your core skill. So you have to learn the digital marketing, and you can sell your skill directly to the customers. You don't need any middle person, any company or anything. You can be a freelancer. Later on you can grow to the four stages of wealth creation, right? uh, you are freelancer, you are agency owner, you are a big uh, company, or a brand which can franchise, and then you become an institution, right? Naam hi kafi hai. So okay, so that's mastery of skills. I can talk for hours on it, but I'll just suffice to that. What is important in mastery of skills is your you know focusing on monitoring and control, keeping the accountability of how much you are mastering and how far you need to go. Obviously there's no end, but at least you need to define the roadmap for yourself. Okay, and you need to have mentors. When you're talking about mastery of skills, you have to have mentors, otherwise you're just gonna waste time, several years of your life figuring things out on your own. Okay, moving on to NMCT. Okay, let's move on to communication. Subhanallah, communication is like, as per statistics, as per statistics as per research, I mean, majority of what people understand doesn't even come out of your mouth, right? It's your body language. So that's the first thing you need to learn about communication. And second thing you need to know about communication, being successful in communication is all about becoming a great listener. It's not about great writer or great speaker. It's about becoming a great listener. The more empathetic you are with your potential client, or even your employee, your teammate, your team member, the more chances of success, right? Because we are humans, we are not AI or chatbots or robots. We really need to feel stuff. We need to feel our energy, our work, our passion. We can't. If you observe Apple company, it's my favorite company. I think everyone loves Apple. It's all about passion, right? Passion to think different, passion to excellence, right? So that's what we need to be all about, right? Communication is like, there is no language which is more rich. There is no richer language than Arabic language, right? So I highly recommend you master both Arabic and English language. Arabic first, okay? And I'm in Dubai right now, and I've spent like 27, 28 years in Saudi Arabia. I can tell you pretty much most of my life, majority of my life. I can tell you Arabs respect people who know their identity, who know their language. So I say, if you are a Muslim and you haven't read the whole of Noble Quran, its translation at least, and you don't know the meaning, and also you haven't taken time out to learn your language, Arabic language, then you have just wasted your life so far. I'm sorry to say. The asaf al-shadid. All right, and last but not the least, it's so I've GLX is a program, is a special language program that I've developed, but this is not the time and place to talk about it. And so I'll close on communication there, and let's go on to the final thing, and that is time management. Now, time management is all about the right intention and conviction. So essentially, you need to have sincerity in your intention, right? And you have to meet the right people at the right place at the right time. So there are like 4 R's in the time, time management. And the the fact about time management, not many people will tell you, the more you act upon your knowledge and the more blessed you will be in your time, right? So you need to be action oriented, result oriented, and yes, you need to be creative. Yes, I totally agree with the infotainment stuff Shan Sarwar said, definitely. But again, people are losing their uh, attention spans. People are like overloaded with information. So I actually think that people need more of accountability managers than mentors and courses. To be honest with you, I'm telling you this from experience. And I've been doing accountability management wherever I've been. I'm like an accountability coach or accountability manager. Whichever company I worked in, that's what I essentially did. You can call it quality assurance, you can call it what you all like, but that's essentially like what is a accountability manager is like. He helps you, like let's say you start learning Arabic language, so or spoken English with me. So then I'm gonna look at your metrics over a span of 6 months, 2 years, whatever the course duration is. I'm gonna regularly check how fast you're building your vocabulary, how fast, more importantly, how fast you are using that vocabulary in your daily life, right? And things of that sort, right? You need to understand language. You will master a language for a reason. You just don't start learning a language for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So first you need to figure out that reason, that problem that you need to solve, the bigger picture, right, in your life, and that's where I strongly believe that before all these 4 points, what comes is POL, purpose of life. And again, that's a subject I can talk on for hours, and we can go into a lot of depth in that. But essentially, for a point of benefit, I can mention to you right now. Just go open up the Noble Quran and read chapter 51, verse 56. Surah Zariyat, verse 56. Just read that verse and read the authentic translation, the one done by Dr. Muhammad Mohsin Khan and Taqiyuddin Hilali. That's the most authentic translation because it comes closest to the Arabic language and the understanding of Sahaba, the ahadith, the narrations, the prophetic traditions, right? So yeah, that's about it. And what is important, I'm going to conclude now. I think it's the video has become really lengthy, but there is just like so much to say, and but time does not permit me, so I'm going to conclude now. So what is important is to listen. What is important is to get obsessed with the process. Get obsessed with the process, right? What I mean by that is that many people, they are like, oh, let's learn this, let's learn that, and running after everything that glitters is not gold, right? So you are running after that next shiny object which will make you rich. That's not the way. You have to figure out what you're about, what you're passionate about, what you want to do in life, which are the greatest problems that you can solve. You have to ask these deep questions to yourself. Which are the greatest problems that you can solve? Be it in Pakistan or globally, you need to think big, but you need to start small, right? And the easiest thing to do is to enjoy, be grateful, and be patient while doing all this throughout the journey. It's going to be a journey. Enjoy it with positive and gritty attitude. That's what Ditai and Hisham Server has rightly been mentioning again and again. Grit is the thing, guys. I'm telling you. That's what I've seen in my 12 years of professional life. in Malaysia and Saudi Arabia and in Pakistan and now in Dubai. It's all about clarity and about grit. How long can you persevere? How long you can stay on your points? Stand for making your point, right? Okay, and it's what I call, there is a secret formula of success. It's called TMUGTMUG, right? Let me just show you. It's called TMUGTMUG, and you might laugh at it, but perhaps someday I'm gonna talk in detail about it, what that is. But that's the single formula of success I've seen. I've studied like thousands of success stories in the last 15 years, and I've seen that in every single success story, a true success story. Um, Most of my mentors are actually foreigners, they are not from Pakistan, but some of them happen to be from Pakistan. Virtual mentors like Hisham Server, like Zishan Usmani. Anyhow, so all right, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this conversation, and may Allah give us tawfiq to believe in what is truth, what is right, and also act upon backing up our beliefs with righteous actions, and have patience, and have إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا